In this code.org lesson, we're going to continue to explore functions, those containers or ways to store code and run that code at any time. Super foundational stuff. Let's get going.
This is code.org. Let's see what we have here. All right. Have we met before? I'm a harvester. I'm going to zoom in. I'm a harvester. Help me harvest the pumpkin. Okay, I have one block on the screen and I can use up to 4. Let me go ahead and say, boop, and boop. It looks like move forward 3 times, I think. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an action. Pick a pumpkin. I hope you're yelling at me because there's a faster way to do this. Boom, 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 picked. Reset that because I can, instead of doing all that, use a repeat. I'll use this one. Why don't I repeat something until I get to the pumpkin? So I'll just put the move forward in that because once I'm at the pumpkin, I'll stop and pick it. And so this move forward only repeats, it'll only repeat but until I get to the pumpkin. Once I'm at the pumpkin, it will stop moving forward and it will run the line below, which is to pick it. So droop, 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 hello pumpkin, drop and pick. Awesome, onward. All right. Oh, veggies are cropped up everywhere. Now the harvester pick all the corn on the way to the pumpkin. Okay. Ooh, we got a function. Remember how this works. We say a function's name to run this chunk of code. So I'm going to start just throwing stuff down. We have 4 blocks out and we're only supposed to use 8. Good thing functions make it really easy to reuse code. So I'm going to move forward. Let me see what happens here. Oh, it's random, rats. Okay. Well, since it's random, we can use a conditional, also an if statement, to see if something's there. What an if statement does is we're asking the computer a question. In this function, check corn, we're saying, hey, computer, if there's corn there, pick the corn. So I'm actually going to kind of duplicate this just to show you what I mean. If corn, pick corn. All right. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to hit run. There's no corn, so I won't pick anything. I'm going to hit run. There was corn, and I picked something. The reason this is occurring is I go here, I move forward, I'm going to take the next step. I ask this computer a question, if there is corn. The computer can only respond true or false. True being 1 or 0 being false, that's binary. If it is true, if the computer says, yep, you're at corn, I do pick the corn. Now, if I was false, if there was no corn here, step. So no corn that time, step. There is corn this time, so if corn, computer says true, I'll pick it, pick the corn, and then I'll just run the code below, move forward. Now, let's do this one. There's no corn, so I'm about to ask, hey, is there corn here? This is false. I will not run pick corn, I'll just move forward, okay? But we already have a function that has this if in it. So let me get rid of that. Let me use my function. The computer will hit this and say, what the heck is that? Smack, and it will run this code. But what do I want to do after that? Well, it looks like I would want to move forward again. Well, how many times? If I'm repeating myself, perfect. Why don't I repeat until there's pumpkin? Because at the end, I see this pumpkin. So I'm telling the computer, hey, keep moving forward by 1, run check for corn, plop. It goes over here, it runs, it asks if there's corn. If there is, we pick it. It hits the bottom, returns to here, because this is the last line it ran when it ran all this function, returns to here, and I'll keep going until I'm at the pumpkin. Then what? Well, let's see. Okay, now in my repeat, after I get to that pumpkin, what do I want to do? I bet ya I'm going to want to pick it. We're doing complicated stuff. Onward. All right, here we have another function. It looks very similar to the last one, so double check that you understood that one before we do this. It looks like I'll move forward, I guess. And let me hit run. Okay, so it looks like I'll move forward 2. And then what am I going to want to do? Well, I want to check for corn. Thankfully, we already have a function for that. And remember what an if statement does. I'm asking the computer, hey, is there corn here? If there is, if this is true, we will pick corn. If it is false, we will not. So let me use that. Functions, check for corn. After I move forward 2, then what? Well, I think I'll want to move forward, and I'm not sure if that's going to be corn, so I guess I'll check for corn. Then what? Well, I'm not sure if that's corn, so I'll move forward, and I'll check for corn. Let me step through. Boom. Okay, moved 1. Now what? Move again. Now I hit check for corn. The computer says, what the heck is that? Smack. Oh, they must mean this function because we said its name. It then runs and says, if there is corn, I am on corn, so this will be true, and I do pick it. Great. Hit the bottom of my function, go back, return to where we were, which was here, and I'll move forward, jump. Now I have to check for corn again. Click, smack. Oh, is there corn? That is true, so I'm about to pick it. Cool. Hit the bottom of the function, go back to here, run the line below it, move forward, smack. There's no corn, this is false, so I won't pick it, and I'll just keep going. Now, this is repeating ourselves. Let's use a loop to do that, right? So why don't I do loop until there's a pumpkin? Because at the end here, there's a pumpkin. At the end there's a pumpkin. So for now, move forward and check corn until there's a pumpkin. Now what do I want to do? Well, once I'm at a pumpkin, what do we want? I want a pumpkin. So let's pick it. Then what do we need to do? Well, I got to turn, I think. So hopefully you yelled that at me. Got to turn left. Then what? I guess move forward. And I'm just throwing stuff down and I'll test it in a sec, honestly. Move forward. Then what? Turn left again, I think. And then it looks like I'm going to want to keep moving forward till I get to that pumpkin again. So I can kind of see what I did here and do that. Check for corn, actions, pick up. Oh, before I hit run, it looks like I can get rid of this move forward, because I can start by moving forward and checking for corn. Great, onward. Alright, so I feel so functional. Each sprout will either grow corn or nothing. So I have a function again. Let me do less here. Oh, I have two. Perfect. So let's use them. I'm going to move forward, it looks like, and I will check for corn, I guess. Now, how do I do that? Well, I use this name. Keep in mind, what does this do? It says, hey, computer, run this. And it says, what's that? Smack. I ask the computer if there is corn. So if I'm standing on corn, this would be true, and I would pick corn. But sometimes I'm not. I'm not standing on corn, so this would be false, and I just skip over the pick corn. Regardless, then I hit the bottom of our function, and whatever I have beneath it, and it looks like I would want to move forward again and check for corn again. Whatever I have beneath it, once it runs, it does. So now I'd move forward again, hit check for corn, smack, it would run this again, and we'd keep going. Now, it looks like I have a bunch of corn here, like I did last time, until I get to a pumpkin. So I'll use a loop, and as long as I am not at a pumpkin, let me go ahead and say check for corn. Now, what they're trying to show us, I think, notice there can be more than one pumpkin now. So, okay, we can take care of that though. We have this function called getAllPumpkins. So now, guess what it does? It gets all the pumpkin. So after I repeat over and over getting all the corn, I'm going to say, hey, get all the pumpkins. The computer goes smack. Okay, as long as there's pumpkins, I'll pick it. And so this keeps running this loop until there's no pumpkins left. Then what do I need? Well, it looks like I'm going to want to go left. I think forward 2. And action left. And it looks like the same thing, I believe. Check for corn. Let's see. Onward. All right. Okay, longer paths. So this looks similar to the last one. Again, if you're getting stuck on these, go back a little bit in the video and watch what we were just doing. It looks like I'm going to need to go forward, move forward, then what? Well, does it randomize again? So what I think I can do is what I have been doing, right? I move forward, and then what do? I go ahead and just check for corn. Because if it's not there, it doesn't matter. It just skips over this. So each time the computer says check for corn, hits this, I'll ask, hey, is there corn there? If there is, I pick it. If not, I skip over that line, hit the bottom, and I go back to where I was. Now, let's put this in a loop like we have been doing, because I'm just going to keep moving forward and checking for corn until I get to the pumpkin. Now, once I get to that pumpkin, what were we just doing? We don't know how many pumpkins can be here, so I'm going to get all the pumpkin. Now, once I'm at this edge, let's see. I think like we have been doing, left, forward, left, and then I think we need to go until there's a pumpkin. Check for corn, get all pumpkins, forward right here, right, then what? I think I'll do another one of these. And one good sign, we might be right, 25 out of 25 blocks used. Awesome. Onward. All right, so use pick along path to solve the puzzle, again, using fewer blocks. Oh, notice what they're doing? So each time, our functions change a bit. Now, instead of the repeat until that we did in the last puzzle, right here, notice, they put that repeat until inside of a function. So we have these 25 blocks. It's kind of a pain. But now, they added that repeat inside of this. So pick along path. Okay, well, it looks like I can go ahead and say pick along path. And what that does is we're going to repeat until we're going to get all pumpkins. So check the square for corn. Cool. And then I'm going to move forward. So I'll keep doing this. And what that will do is it will say, okay, check for corn. Oh, where's that function? Boom. I'll look for corn. If there is, I'll pick it. Hit the bottom of this. It will go back up here. We'll then move forward, hit the bottom of this, and if we're not at a pumpkin, zoop, check it for corn again. Okay, goes and runs this and says, is there corn? Say there is that time. I'll show you actually. Watch. All right, so pick long path, boom. Checking. We're not at a pumpkin, so we check for corn. Right here, is there corn? No corn, so that was false. Hit the bottom, we move forward. Step. Now what do we do? We're going to continue moving forward and grabbing that corn. All right, so now we pick long path, and that should get us here. So we still need to do the turn on our own. But notice how it's getting easier because we can put stuff inside of functions that we're going to use multiple times and just ask it to run that function. Just say that function's name. And that function will run this block of code, but it also can use other functions, other blocks of codes to make it easier. Okay, and then what am I going to do? Same thing as last time, essentially. I'll move forward. And we're on this pick long path last time. Awesome. Look how much shorter that is. Looking good. Onward. Oh, video. All right. Functions lettuce. Do more with less work. Create a function that sends the harvester down a square path to pick a single head of lettuce from middle of each row. The best way for me to do this usually, we have one block, we can use 8. I go about it the long way because it makes it easier for me to see. So I'm going to want to move forward, then what? Well, I need to pick that lettuce, then what? I'll fast forward me getting all this code down, but I want to show you why it helps me. So look, notice I wrote it all out, and the reason I did that is it makes me easier to see where I maybe could use a loop. Let's look for repeated code. Let's see, I have forward, pick lettuce, forward, turn right. Forward, pick lettuce, forward, turn right. Forward, pick lettuce, forward, turn right. Forward, pick lettuce. Would it matter if I take one more additional step forward and turn at the end? It wouldn't. It's a square. All sides are the same. So don't repeat yourself. I'm getting rid of all of this, and I'm just going to ask the computer to do that for me with a loop. I could use a amount. So maybe I know there's 4 sides. Boom and boom. Now let's make sure, create a function. This isn't a function. This is just my code. I need to put it in a block. Here's my function. And what do I want to call it? Maybe, let's see what they call it. Square harvest. Maybe. Something like that. You can name it whatever you'd like. And I'll put all this in here. And now to make it run, I just need to say its name. Onward. Oh, they're officially being mean. Try writing your functions again. Is it still helpful? Can you make it work for this puzzle? Okay, so I'm just going to pull out that code I just had, do something, and I said something like square harvest. And what did I do? Well, it was move forward, pick, not corn, pick lettuce, forward, and right. Now, what did I have? Also, I had the loop, remember? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch that one. 4 sides. Okay. Boom. Square harvest. So if I run this just once, I will go ahead, get all of this, and end up here. So how could I make this useful? Well, if I end up here, maybe I could turn, right? Keep in mind, I'm turning right on this. So what if I turn again this way, and then say move forward, pick lettuce, yep. Move forward, yep. Turn right, yeah, that would be on my right. Would I go all the way back around? So let's see. I'm going to say turn right one more time, and then I can use my function square harvest. 10 pieces of code, and it will reuse that function. Bam. Awesome. Onward. All right. Is your function still helpful? Oh, they're testing our patience. So this is the same function I've been writing in the last 2. Make sure you've checked those. Oh, right. And again, you can call this what you want. Say you call it plant getter. It's what you want, okay? So now that I have it called this, you just need to use its name over here. Let me make this the code we have been using. So here we are. This is the full square. We say the function's name, which I apparently named plant getter. And what are we going to do? We're going to 4 times over, move forward, pick lettuce, move forward, turn right. And what we discovered last level is if I turn right here and say function plant getter, let me show you. Step through this to show you what's going on. So what happens? Plant getter, the computer says what? Smack, and it runs this code. Okay, I got to do this 4 times. I'm going to move forward, I'll pick the lettuce, move forward, and I'll turn right. Hits the bottom of this 3 more times. Move forward, pick that lettuce, move forward, turn right. Hits the bottom of this 2 more times. Last time. Boom. And now what? Well, we hit the bottom. It's been 4 times, so we drop out of the function and we should turn right now. Then we hit this function again and go back to it. So that will solve those 2 times. Now we're here. What are we going to want to do? Well, it looks like I need to turn around, so what if I turn right twice and then move forward, pick lettuce? That will cause an error, right? Because there's not going to be any chance of lettuce. So what if I turn right twice and then move forward once, move forward twice? Now let me see if I can run this function. Oops, so what do I have to do then? Looks like I got up here and I was going the wrong way. So what if I do this? Tricky, tricky. Awesome. Onward. Are we ready? Heck yes, we're ready. Okay. Use everything you've learned to solve the puzzle. Okay, so this looks like a larger square. Oh, and they give us functions. Pick along path. Check for corn. Notice pick along path runs check for corn, so we'll do that automatically. Oh, and it also does get all pumpkins, so it will do that for us too. So my action will then be, I'm going to go ahead and run this function, pick along path. Let me go ahead and put a move forward to show you what this does. Step. So right away, pick along path, bam. And I'm going to repeat until I'm at a pumpkin. I'll first check for corn, which runs this. If there's corn, there's not, so that's false. Hit the bottom, go back up here, and I should move forward. Checking for the corn right now. Skips over pick because there was none, and I move forward. I hit the bottom of my pink mouth loop thing. It says I'm at a pumpkin. I'm not, so I'll again check for corn, which will run this. Drop. Now, is there corn? Nope, no corn. Skips over it, hits the bottom of this, goes back up here, and I'll move forward. I'm now at a pumpkin. Repeat till there's pumpkins. There's pumpkins, so it will run, get all pumpkins. Here we are. As long as there's pumpkin, keep picking those. Once this is done, there's no more pumpkins. This is over. This goes back up here. This function's done. And I'll try to step forward. So, all right, we got that part of it. What do I need to do after I do all of that? It looks like I would need to turn to the right, actually. Then what? Well, I'm going to try to do this. Let's run pick long path again. Then at the end, let's do a right turn, I think. Then what? Well, let's run our function again. Then at the end, maybe I'll turn right. And I know it says I have no more, but I want to keep doing this to show you how I would do this. Turn right. Oop, I need one more. All right, so let's hit run. And it should go through. There's 4 pick long paths. There's 4 sides. Now I do have a problem, like I already said, in that it's asking us to only use 2 rights, and I've already used too many blocks. So let me make a function that will be pick square. And how many sides does a square have? 4. Hint. All right, so 4 sides, and I'll pick that whole side, then I'll turn right. Can get rid of this stuff, and now use that function's name. Pick square. All right, and then where do I end up after I pick the square? It looks like here. So what would I need to do? It looks like if I turn right, that will have me facing this way. And then I just want to keep moving till I get to this pumpkin. Oh, wait a minute. What would keep me moving until I get to a pumpkin? This, right? I'd pick all the corn along the way, and I'd get to the pumpkin. Well, wait, what can I use to run this 4 times? Because once I get there, I need to go this way, this way, this way. Even though the side's a different length, oh, I bet I could use pick a square. Let's see. And I really encourage you to use step and trace how it runs, because this stuff's complicated. We did it! Onward. Alright, solve this puzzle in 23 blocks or less. So we have pick long path. Ooh, this looks hard. Alright. What am I going to want to do? I'm just going to start throwing down code. Let me run. Does it randomize stuff? Okay. So it looks like I would need to move forward, turn right, move forward, pick lettuce. Except it changes how much lettuce is there the next time. So maybe as long as there's lettuce this next time, I'll pick it. But wait a minute. Couldn't I have that here as well? This original pick lettuce. Just in case, I could also say as long as there's lettuce right there, pick it. And if that's the case, we can use our friend, which is a repeat. right? It's identical. Boom. Now, this looks kind of messy and it's confusing what's going on here. So maybe I'll do a function because it's a great way to give a block of code a name so we know what's going on. And I'll say steps of lettuce. Maybe you want to name yours stairs of lettuce, lettuce stairs. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure it makes sense. Steps of lettuce. Okay, well now I can run steps of lettuce and it will go through all of this for me. Oh, I left out a left. Boom. Awesome. Now what am I going to want to do? Well, we've seen this before. This is a whole lot like a square, also known, it's a rectangle. So what have we done when we have that? Right away, I know there's 4 sides, right? We know that. That's how rectangles and squares work. So 4. Now what am I going to want to do? What we have been doing. So make sure you've paid attention to these last ones and go back and double check if you're confused with what I am saying. While there is, I don't know what's going to be here, technically, right? And there's not pumpkins. So instead of pumpkins, what if we do when there's path ahead? That way, when I'm at this corner, there's no path. And so then I can use that to make them turn. So while there's path ahead, move forward. But what else do I want to do? I want to check for corn. Now I could put an if right here, certainly. I could say if there's corn, pick the corn. But I don't need to. We already have a function for this right here. Check for corn. So I can run check for corn right here, which will go over here, check if there's corn. If it does, pick it, hits the bottom, returns back to here, and we'll keep going ahead until there's no path left. And then what would I do? It looks like a left turn. Boom. Now, I'm going to put this into a function too, and I'll say rect corn, short for rectangle. And then I'm going to put that there. Now, that should get us to here, because I'm going to keep moving ahead. Once I get here, I should keep moving forward and checking for corn until what? Until there's no path ahead. I will then turn left, which is this way. See me checking, and when there's no path ahead, I turn. And again, I would definitely step through this and watch how it executes. Now, there's no path ahead, so I turn. Wait a minute, look at this. What's this look like? Huh. I bet ya, it's stairs. Now, we have one last thing, though. Notice 25 blocks? Well, wait a minute. Do we ever use pick long path? Goodbye. And I think I can do you one better. Functions are great when you run code often or a lot. They make sense. How many times am I using check corn? Once? Well, there's no reason to have all this code for it. I have to call it. I have to have a function block. Let me get rid of both those. I don't need that. I can just run it directly here. 19 blocks. Let's go. Victory! Alright, let's see. Look at the function defined below, which just means made. When they say define, they mean this is me defining the function, and this is me calling it when I say the function name. What will the harvester pick? Oh my goodness. So as long as there's path ahead, check square for corn, okay? And then move forward while there's path ahead. So I'll end up here. There's no corn, right? But as long as there's path ahead, I'll end up here. Then what am I going to do? I'll turn right, okay, and then right again, so I turn around. Then I run get produce, and the computer says, what's that? Smack. Okay, what am I going to do here? Repeat until there is lettuce. Move forward. So then I'll skip over this, apparently, and once I get to the lettuce, this will stop. Pick the lettuce. I hit the bottom of this, and that's it? That's the end of the program? To me, it looks like I'll just pick the lettuce then. Boom, and boom. Awesome. Onward.